Is one of the products. It's actually the most popular product that the company has, called LifePak Nano. And the reason why I chose to talk about this is it gives you a general overview of the science that's in this company. And you know, when we talk about a multivitamin versus a comprehensive nutritional supplement, what Pharmanex did is their goal was to replace, or should I say supplement, the equivalent of 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day in your diet. The average person is taking 2. People who do well maybe take 4 or 5. Very few people take 10. When I interview people who score high in the 60s and 70s, those people have 10, 12 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. What you're looking for are the brightly pigmented fruits and vegetables, the greens in kale, the reds in tomatoes with lycopene, the yellow in corn with lutein, you know, blueberries. That's what you're looking for. So what is LifePak Nano? It's a comprehensive nutritional program. It's not a multivitamin. To compare this to something else like a Centrum would be just impossible. And now we can measure it. I have patients who come in that are on these supplements that they're taking, and they take it, they score poorly, they take our product, they score better. We already know the correlation of improving your score and how well that does for your nutritional state. I have patients that come in and they want to try different products, and I tell them, do whatever you want to improve your health. Come back in 2 months, let's score you again. Let's be objective about this. There are 11 different formulas in LifePak Nano, and it's addressing all different aspects of your health. What I found is that these different formulas are based on research on human studies. If you put antioxidants into a PubMed research, you'll get hundreds of thousands of articles. So what Pharmanex has done is they've taken those articles and they know from science how much you need of every nutrient in order to maintain health. And that's what they put in LifePak Nano. They don't take a study that comes out 1 week and change their formula. They want something that's tried and true, with the #1 rule, which is safety first. There was a company about a year or 2 ago that came out with selenium in their product, and instead of putting micrograms, they put in milligrams, 1,000 times more. Hair was falling out, liver failure, awful things. This doesn't happen with the Pharmanex products. I can feel comfortable about that. The first day of medical school, they taught us, do no harm. I abide by that. I need to make sure that I'm not going to hurt my patients. As an example for the things that are put in for the brain health, there's a omega-3 fatty acids and krill oil that are put in this product. And krill oil is specifically put in because it crosses the blood-brain barrier and gives you a lot more nutritional support than other fatty acids. The amount of DHA, it's appropriate in here. The vitamin E, in most supplements, and here's a great example, D-alpha-tocopherol, which is the least expensive form of vitamin E, is put in the great majority of supplements. The Pharmanex product in LifePak Nano, 8 different forms of vitamin E. That's what's important. We know that because at least one of the scientists we have among our 75 got her PhD in vitamin E. Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty subspecialized for me. You know, I was a chemistry major, and I look back and I go, wow, you know, these people subspecializes in that compound? Well, they've got 75 of those nerds that know more about this stuff than I, and they all talk amongst each other, and they put together a comprehensive program that I don't have to worry about doing research. I don't have to find all these different compounds and have some company put my name on a product because it kind of makes it more mine. I would much rather put my faith in a company that's done the research for me and backs it. The phytonutrients are also key because phytonutrients are also lacking in a lot of supplements. You take a look at a multivitamin, they will not have phytonutrients because they're expensive. Phytonutrients cost a lot. There are over 60 different antioxidants in this product, If you compare it and try to reproduce what's in it, you'll spend well over $200 a month. By the way, the cost of this LifePak Nano is $125. They have another product called LifePak, which doesn't have the nanotechnology, which we'll get into. Retails for about $70. They have some inexpensive supplements that run about $30. When I have a patient coming in on a product such as Centrum Silver, and I know that they're doing themselves no good and potentially harm, I would rather have them take a product that they're going to get at least good response at a reasonable price than take what they're getting at Costco. And I don't take my word for it, I measure it with that machine. There's another compound in here called resveratrol, and you remember the study that came out that said 2 glasses of wine, grown from wine in upstate New York, would give you heart health. Then they came out and said you need 20 or 30 milligrams of resveratrol, and now they're coming out saying there's maybe toxic doses if you take that much. The opinions in medicine, especially in the literature with nutrition, go like this all the time. If you're going to go like this, you're going to get vertigo. So what I do is I take a look at what's tried, true, and proven, and I stick with it. Unless something comes out that says substantially different information. In which case the folks at Pharmanex changed their formulas, which they did with one of their bone formulas, by putting more vitamin D, different forms of calcium, boron, and other compounds that have been shown to improve bone health. This is an example of their bone health, and there's a vitamin K in here, and one of my concerns as a physician with patients on blood thinners is, what about vitamin K? Well, my patients that are on Coumadin, and as you know, vitamin K is kind of an antidote for Coumadin overdose. I was an ER doc for 2 years, and when people overdosed on Coumadin, we'd give them thousands of units of vitamin K. There's about 20 in this, very small amount. Also, if someone's taking the same amount of vitamin K every day, it's easy to adjust their Coumadin. What I have a problem with as a physician is when patients are taking broccoli one day, nothing for 2 weeks, I adjust their Coumadin, then they go out and have some broccoli and Brussels sprouts, then they come back and drives me nuts. Because the levels go like this. The key is have to be consistent. So the amount of vitamin K is minimal, and as long as they're consistent, I don't get concerned with Coumadin. The immune system. Is there anything more basic and important than the immune system? Several of the scientists that come here and usually lecture did a lot of their PhD work in the immune system. And since the immune system is so complex, it controls so many aspects of our health. There's research now about Alzheimer's and giving people vaccinations to alter the immune response and helping people. We know the immune system requires a tremendous amount of nutrition. And the people that we see that are sick, that are sleep deprived, that are nutritionally deprived, their immune system takes a hit. How are we going to help a person develop health? We give someone who's sick antibiotics, and antibiotics are necessary for certain types of overwhelming illness, but the antibiotic doesn't cure people. All the antibiotic does is it lowers the amount of bacteria and allows your immune system to take over. Eye health. It's very interesting. This is how the research got started. As Stephen said before, in the Moran Eye Institute, University of Utah, they knew that carotenoids and retinal health were significantly correlated. And that's why this combination of eye health nutrients is second to none. The ophthalmologists, the MD board-certified ophthalmologists who are involved in this business realized that this eye formula is exceptional compared to anything on the market. Gets your score up and helps the patients. Recently they came out with a change in the eye formula because they knew that there were some things that needed to be added. This zeaxanthine is a pink pigment. It's found in salmon. It's found in shrimp. Very interesting. Once again, these colors represent the benefits that you're receiving. over 60 antioxidants. The buffered vitamin C, that's very important too, because not all vitamin C is created equal. You want inexpensive vitamin C, get some ascorbic acid, have someone take it, unbuffered, you're going to get stomach upset. Alpha lipoic acid, very, very few multivitamins have things like this in it because it costs more money. And acetylcysteine, a precursor to glutathione. I mean, how potent is glutathione? Skin health. You know, New Skin was originally a skin company. So their products do amazing things to your skin. When people take these products, people will approach them and say, what are you doing to your face? It just helps your whole body. And how many times do we just forget to treat the skin? You know, it's the largest organ in the body. There are studies done that show that when you scan the skin for precancer lesions and you're on products like this, it actually lowers the amount of skin damage. Absolutely amazing. This is what a packet looks like of LifePak Nano. There are 5 capsules here that are a combination of your vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients, and these are your fish oils. How am I going to take all these pills? Well, we know that when patients want something and value something, they will take whatever is necessary. I know myself, I'll take these with 1 swig of water and down it all because I've learned how to condition myself. I teach patients how to swallow by tucking their chin. You know, when I was an ER doc and we wanted to open the airway, we would tilt the head back and intubate them. Well, if you take pills in your mouth and tilt your head back, you will intubate yourself by putting those pills straight into your lungs. I wouldn't recommend doing that. If you do, hopefully you can cough well and spell it. But so I teach them how to swallow, and it becomes very, very easy. This packet here is kind of interesting because with innovation, the forefront of innovation tells you a lot about the company. This company was the first to actually put these supplements, any supplements, in a sachet. They actually invented the sachet. Now when you go to 7-Eleven, you get a sachet of supplements, God knows what you're taking. You know, it's kind of interesting. Then what happened is, about a year ago, they changed the sachet from a very soft to a hard plastic. And that's because they found out that they needed to have better protection of the supplements in there. So they changed the system. I mean, it's amazing the things that go into the innovation of this company. Mental performance with fatty acids. You know, the amount of benefits for fish oils is extenuous. And when you start looking at these studies, specifically the study that came out that says that fish oils and prostate cancer have a negative impact, I sent off an email to the scientists at New Skin, Pharmanex, and I got an email back that gave me wonderful references as to why those studies were really poor. And it wasn't that the people who ran it were poor, it's just the conclusion wasn't really up there. And if you take a look at the population that has the highest concentration of fish oils, Japanese, and you take a look at their incidence of prostate cancer over the last 30 years, you find that their incidence of prostate cancer is going up as their ingestion of fish is going down. Very interesting. Joint health. You know, what that reminds me of is LifePak was one of the supplements that the U.S. Olympic team used for 3 consecutive Olympic teams about 10 years ago. And the reason is they understood what the best healthy product was. This product is not considered a banned substance, went through a lot of scrutiny for the Olympic Committee to approve it. So let's talk a little bit about nanotechnology. What is nanotechnology? It's the science of small things. How small? Less than a hundredth of a meter. 100 billion of a meter. Very, very tiny. And the purpose of this nanotechnology is to allow the absorption of these nutrients to pass the barrier in the intestinal wall. So what happens here is you have ordinary nutrients that tend to clump together, and it's very hard for them to pass. Once we put a capsule around the nutrients, we take each molecule and wrap this carbohydrate ring around it. It provides a transport medium to take a fat-soluble nutrient through the water-soluble intestine at a much higher rate. How much higher? Between 5 and 10 times. One of the studies shows that when you compare our CoQ10 to everyone else on the market, we have between a 5 and 10-fold increase in absorption. To me, that's very important. I'm giving my patients 30 milligrams of nano Q10. It's the equivalent of 150 to 300 milligrams of CoQ10 that they get over the counter. The other important thing is, how long has that CoQ10 been sitting on the shelf? Well, when you're a company that's doing $3 billion a year, and one of your most popular products is LifePak Nano, this product does not sit on the shelf long. The expiration date when you get it is about 18 months. I can tell you that that doesn't sit on my shelf long either. And the beauty is, when you find out about this business, I don't even have to have it on the shelf. I have patients get it directly from the company. It goes from the company to the patient. It doesn't sit on your shelf either. This is an animated version of what happens. So this is the nano Q10 with the carbohydrate ring, transporting it through the cell membrane onto the other side, and then this carbohydrate shell gets broken up and gets expelled. Now, this is not a carbohydrate that's going to cause any increased calories because it's just not absorbable. This is an example of the increase in absorption of the nano Q10. There's been many studies that have shown the challenges of safety. And this is just an example of one of those. There are countless examples of safety concerns. Our company has not had any safety issues since it started. And that's because the people who started it, as Steve said, came from pharma, created compounds such as Mevacor, Rapamune for kidney transplant, and they know the safety necessary. And they brought it to this company. And Joe Chang, the original person who started Pharmanex, is still on board, helping the company acquire more health-related companies. Needless to say, everything that's bad is not in our products. That's the summary of this slide.
All the good, none of the bad.
All of the good, none of the bad. Absolutely, Kathy. Who's recommended to take this? Pretty much everyone that's an adult and above. There are products for teenagers. There are products prenatal. So there are other products associated with different demographics. Recommending to take this with your 2 main meals because the absorption of nutrients, especially fat-soluble nutrients, requires some fat in your diet. People who have salads, the worst thing you can do is have a non-fat dressing. Use some olive oil because the olive oil allows the carotenoids in your fruit and vegetables to be absorbed better. The biophotonic scanner is, Steve went over that. It's measuring these specific types of carotenoids. And the reason why it works is this long chain does wonders for light. It's very easy to get a fingerprint. Every compound in the world has a fingerprint. If you shine light on it at a certain frequency, it'll shine back at a different frequency. You can tell what it is. The best thing about checking these carotenoids is it's easy to do. When you try to assess carotenoids using other means, it tends to be very expensive and takes a long time. I made a mention before about a SpectraCell. How many patients are going to be willing to take your recommendations of spending $300 and waiting 2 weeks to get a result versus spending $20 and getting a result in 30 seconds? The technology is superior. It's live tissue. Blood is dynamic. The levels in blood change according to the time of day. the levels in your tissue remain constant. This is one of the studies that showed the correlation between the skin and the serum carotenoids with an R coefficient of 0.84. Remember, 1.0 is perfect. Anything above 0.75 is considered good. 0.84 is pretty exceptional. This is a distribution of data from 2.6 almost million people that were scanned. And this is the average for someone who has 2 to 3 servings of fruits and vegetables in a day, 5 to 9. Those who take LifePak, and those who take LifePak and eat correctly. Thank you. When we take a look at studies like this, these are the peer-reviewed studies that we have that tell us the validity of this scanner science. As of today, we've probably scanned in the company, I would say upwards of 10 to 15 million people. 17?
17, 18.
All right, that's almost 10 to 15. A lot of people.
Unless we're talking money. And it's a problem.
All right, you'll get your turn, Kathy.
I'm
Hold
sorry,
on.
I'm sorry.
You're not up yet.
I like take so much sun.
My show, and then you go. This is what happens to your score over the course of time with the use of LifePak Nano. After about 2 months, it starts to plateau at 6 months. So it takes some time for the tissue levels to build up. There are many, many studies going on. New Skin Pharmanex has hundreds of academic partners throughout the world that are doing studies on our products. Because, as an example, there's a compound called Reishi Max, made from the reishi mushroom, that helps your immune system. It helps killer T cells. And the studies that are done on reishi are using our product because ours is the purest form on earth. And I've got one of my colleagues at the hospital who has breast cancer, and her mom has breast cancer recurrence. And I keep telling this person over and over again, every few months when I see her, you need to get on this product because it helps kill breast cancer cells in vitro, in a petri dish. We don't have human studies, but we have the lab studies. And since the amount of harm in taking some of these compounds are very, very innocent, it's highly recommended. Would you like to join us? Excellent. You want to take over?
You're up.
Oxidative stress. I call this machine an oxidative stress indicator. And oxidative stress is what it's all about. When oxidative stress is high, disease is high. When oxidative stress is low, disease is low. Foods that we put into our body that help raise the awareness and lower the oxidative stress will raise your score and lower your risk for diabetes, heart disease, and stroke, according to the original patent of that device. Bariatric surgery patients. I scan patients in my office that have had bypass surgery for gastric bypass, and they all score very low. They're very nutrient deplete. So I asked the bariatric surgeons, what would you like me to do? How can I help you? And they have this much clue. So I've taken upon myself to help those people because no one else will. Isn't that our responsibility? Now, one of the interesting things about this program is, yes, it's all academic. But remember my story at the beginning. Initially, I wanted to pay for my son's college, and I wanted to help my patients. I wanted to do both. I like to have my cake and eat it too. Well, now that my son has graduated and he's on his own, the income generated from this business continues. It's perpetual. It's residual because patients continue using the products and the company pays me a percentage of that over and over again. Is that bad? I'm actually making money from my patients. I'm a doctor. I see patients for a living. We all make money from our patients. We provide a service. Business in this country and any other country is dependent on two things. You either provide a service in exchange for money, or you give a product in exchange for money. The smart people leverage themselves and deal with products. When you deal with service, it's a one-on-one. I provide the service, I get a fee. I love doing it I'm passionate as a physician, but it doesn't provide me any leverage. And that's what I get out of this. What I'd like to do is introduce to you a friend of mine, Kathy Petrillo, who I've worked with very closely the last 5 years. And Kathy's going to explain to you the income generated from this type of a business. And that's equally important, because remember, one moment, Kathy.
I'm just looking at my
It's not done yet?
I'm
Or
giving you your
Steve.
intro. So,
I was looking at my timer, somebody's time in my head. Steve's
He's using it.
Steve's already started the clock, so let's go.
I'll leave you
You know,
next for 30
Steve?
seconds.
The time is ticking.
You have 5 minutes now.
See the love? You feel the love?
So if I want to help a lot of people, I need to have the income to do it. Because if I go broke, I can help no one. I had a free clinic in Jupiter for 10 years. We ran out of money, we had to close the doors. Now the patients have to flood the ER. Remember, if you want to help the poor people, don't be one of them. So to help you not be one of the poor people, help me welcome Kathy Petrillo.